Welcome to Lunch Money. Coming up, will you have to wait until your 70s for a state pension? Do more older or younger workers think their property could be their pension? And stick around to find out if BP is back on the up. Hello, I'm Simon Lambert. Joining me on today's Lunch Money is This Is Money's Helen and Richard Hunter from the show sponsor, Interactive Investor. An influential think tank has warned that today's workers may have to wait longer for retirement, and it's bad news for those in their 30s and 40s hoping to retire in their 60s. Helen, why has the International Longevity Centre said that people might have to wait for their state pension until the age of 71?
So this is an issue to do with the ageing population. Obviously, in order to fund pensions, you need enough workers paying tax to pay for those pensions. And as people are getting older, there's obviously fewer workers relative to the amount of people claiming pensions. This is called the dependency ratio. So in 2000, according to this research, there were 5 workers per retiree. At the moment, there are 3 workers per retiree, but by 2050, that could be down to as low as 1 worker per retiree, which is obviously a big problem. And the way to solve that would be increasing the pension age so that there's more workers for longer. So this study has said that the age could have to be raised as high as 71 by 2040 in order to have enough money to pay out all these pensions.
And one of the things leading into this is the impact of increasing numbers of people taking early retirement, either potentially because they want to or due to ill health or other reasons. The state pension age, where's that at the moment, and is it due to rise anyway in the future?
Yeah, so the state pension age at the moment is 66. That's set to rise to 67 between 2026 and 2028, yet to be decided exactly when. The government has also said that after the next election, they will start consulting on putting the age up again to 68. They are supposed to give 10 years notice when they increase the pension age, but that means that as soon as 2035, we could see the pension age at 68. And looking further into the future, that's just set to rise more. So the last time the government reviewed the pension age, they sort of floated an idea that pensions should only cost 6% of GDP each year, which would mean that young people today could have to work till the age of 70 before they get their pensions.
Which is a controversial idea because it's also linked to life expectancy, and life expectancy has, after rising quite a lot, has stalled. And it's also a problem because some people might not be able to work into their late 60s if they do more demanding jobs. Does it look like people who want to retire in their mid-60s, maybe still thinking about the old-fashioned 65, need to save more into their pensions and rely on their own pensions while they wait to get that extra state pension bit coming to them?
Yeah, I think they do. A lot of people who have private pensions can access those from 55, but that age is also set to go up in the not too distant future to 57. It is, I think figures like this are a bit of a wake-up call for people to make sure that they're saving enough into their work pensions. The tax benefits for doing that are quite generous. If you don't have work pension, you're self-employed, you can save into a self-invested personal pension. And I think especially for younger people who look like they are going to have to wait longer for their state pension, it's really important to look at putting more away into your work pension. Employers also match those contributions often, so it's a good idea and something that people should be thinking about as early in their career as possible, really.
Now, my property is my pension is a phrase that we hear regularly in our celebrity Me and My Money interviews, but it sounds like there might be more people thinking that. We've had a recent piece of research by Standard Life that asked people whether they preferred property or pension for their retirement, and it gave us a surprising result in terms of what the different generations thought. What did it tell us?
Yeah, so you're right in that when people say property is going to fund their retirement, that's often people who don't have a traditional pension, like celebrities who've been sort of self-employed or contract workers for most of their career. But we're actually seeing that young people are now thinking that their property is going to be their pension. So in this survey, people under the age of 27, so that's Generation Z, said that they were more likely to rely on income from a property during their retirement, for example, by selling it and then downsizing and using the money to fund their old age. People over the age of 27 still said that a pension would be their main source of income. And that's really interesting because obviously young people are getting on the housing ladder later, often into their 30s. They might not have even paid off their mortgage by retirement. So it's interesting that they're saying that's going to be their main source of income, and that indicates perhaps a problem when they do get to old age.
And Standard Life said that, potentially some of this reflects the fact that people think they can rely on their pension more as they get older, and they end up with more in their pension, and they go, oh, actually, that pot might be the better plan. But do you think this attitude of the younger generation perhaps reflects the fact that some of them are thinking, well, I can either do one or the other, I probably can't do both?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of younger people think that, I'll get on the property ladder first. That's difficult enough. Maybe the first sort of 10 years of their career, they're really focused on building up this deposit. And, some young people even cut down their pension contributions in order to enable that. So a lot of them will probably think, I'll do the property first and then I'll focus on putting money into my pension, which obviously means you have less time to build up that pension pot. But as we just said, those younger people could be working for longer and they could have a lower state pension. So, neither of those things are easy to do.
Thank you very much, Helen. Richard, BP has reported results today. It said that its profits have dropped substantially, but they still managed to beat expectations. What did it tell us?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the two big ones in the States, of course, Exxon and Chevron. The two big ones in the UK, Shell and BP, have reported last today. And inevitably, there have been some similar themes. There's been some lower refining margins, a very volatile oil price during the course of 2023, and some strong comparatives because at the end of 2022, the oil price spiked very high after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That being said, there's no question that each of the oil majors remains able to significantly generate cash. And we've seen this yet again with BP today, quite apart from an increase in the dividend, which takes the yield to over 5%, obviously a clear attraction for income investors. There's also the announcement of a further share buyback of $1.75 billion. That's likely to repeat in the second quarter, taking it up to $3.5 billion for the year. But one of the reasons that there's been something of a fire under the share price today is that they've gone pretty punchy in terms of their outlook expectations. In 2025, for example, they're expecting to announce buybacks of at least $14 billion.
And BP has a new boss and also some green plans that came in under the old boss. Is it pushing ahead with those green plans or is it rowing back on them?
Yeah, he's only been confirmed as CEO a matter of a couple of weeks, really. But the headline quote in today's numbers was that they would continue their transition from an international oil company into an integrated energy company. You wouldn't expect a massive change in strategy at this early stage, but certainly his initial point is they're going to carry on pretty much as before.
Thank you very much, Richard. That's all for today's Lunch Money. You can catch all the previous shows by searching for This Is Money on YouTube. And if you're watching there, please do us a favour and hit the like and subscribe button. Or come to thisismoney.co.uk/lunchmoney. Join us for our next show on Thursday. Goodbye.